Nicole the Novelist from New York. Nicole, let's go out for a walk. The weather is great and we can go to the park too, said Nicole's mom.
Ok, ma'am.
I think it will be fun. Nicole and her mom took the elevator down to the ground floor and went out for a walk in the city. The sun was out and the smell of fresh air was irresistible. There are so many people walking around, Mom. Yes, dear. The weather is nice and it's the weekend, so people are out and about. Some are exercising, others are walking their dogs or going out with their families to the park, like us. Some people are wearing very colorful clothes, Mom. Some are wearing dresses. Others are wearing training suits. I like that flower print dress. People's clothing is very interesting, dear. It tells us a lot about cultures, languages, personal preference, and even weather conditions. We have to visit many countries around the world to learn about what people wear, what they like to eat, and how they speak their language. Our big city has a small sample of the world. We are lucky to be able to experience all that without traveling too far. Our city has many restaurants from so many cultures, so we can try different foods too. But why are people so different, Mom? All these people you see, dear, wearing different things and looking different from each other in height, weight, skin color, religion, language, personality, nationality, and everything else that makes them different. All of them were very young one day. All of us needed care, someone to look after us, and usually it is our parents who fed us, clothed us, and kept us warm in the winter and cool in the summer. When people grow up, their parents or caregivers teach them about the world, culture, language, religion, tradition, food, and what is funny and what is not. This is when people become different. A good analogy or example of people is trees, dear. All trees start out as seeds. These seeds come from different trees. They grow up in different environments and weather conditions and eventually will look and be different. Some are big and shady. Others are small and prickly. Some have bitter fruits, like olives, that we have to press to make olive oil, and others bear fruit we cannot eat. The point, dear, is that people start out the same, then they grow up and become different. That is a good thing. If all trees were apple trees, we would be very bored with them. There are so many kinds of trees and plants that bear all kinds of fruits and berries, so we can enjoy the variety every day. Look at all these people around us. Imagine if we were able to know the story of every person who is walking in the city. What do you think we will learn? That lady who is jogging is exercising. Is there more than that, Mom? Much more, dear. Let's call her Jane. She grew up in a small town. Her father was a teacher, and her mom took care of her and her brothers and sisters at home. Her mom worked part-time at the supermarket to help with the family expenses. Jane was good at school, and she wanted to become a doctor when she grew up. Her dad could not afford to send her to medical school, so she tried to become a nurse. She applied to many schools and was accepted at the university here in the big city. When she was in her first year in school, she met Ben. He was a tall, handsome young man who liked to go to the gym. They started going to the gym together, then they thought about opening their own gym. Ben's dad was a doctor practicing in the city, so he gave them a loan to start their new business. Jane changed her major to sports management, and the gym became a success. Jane and Ben got married and had 2 kids. Do you see that guy pushing the twin stroller? Over there, Mom? Yes, dear. That would be Ben and the kids. The family is out enjoying the beautiful weather like us, and Jane is jogging while Ben is taking care of the kids. What about that old man sitting on the bench, Mom? He is holding his cane and looks sleepy. The warm sun makes us sleepy, dear. Let's call that old man Stan. He grew up in a different country and came here with his family when he was young. That was 80 years ago. When he was 18, he volunteered in the army and served for 10 years. After he was honorably discharged, he worked in the docks. He bought a small house and got married to Tina. Tina worked from home making cupcakes. Her small business grew, and they bought an apartment in a building on the west side. Tina and Stan had 3 kids, Sophia, Lee, and Jason. Sophia became a high school teacher, Lee became a lawyer, and Jason worked with his dad. Stan bought more apartments in the city and rented them out. He eventually bought several apartment buildings and became one of the big real estate investors in the city. Sophia and Lee joined Jason and their dad in managing the business. Their mom, Tina, eventually opened a restaurant and a bakery. People loved her food. Sophia, Lee, and Jason each got married and had kids of their own. Stan enjoys the time he gets with his grandkids. Tina was out with Stan, but she left him to get a sandwich from the food truck over there, so he is waiting for her to come back so they can enjoy lunch together. I hear the police siren, Mom. That would be the ambulance, dear. Looks like someone needs medical attention. Oh, that is Tina on the ground. Looks like she fainted. Stan is coming over to check on her. I hope she will be okay. Hope so too. Mom, look over there. Why are these 2 ladies arguing? Because each one of them thinks she is right. Both like Jerry, who works as a financial advisor and is rich. Jessica, the one on the right, was Jerry's girlfriend, but she left him. Sandy works with Jerry and wants to be his girlfriend. Jessica is jealous and wants to come back and be with Jerry again, so they are arguing. There is a story behind every person, Mom. Exactly, dear. The city is like a very big painting that has all the colors and the shades and shapes you can think of. What unites them all is that they are all on the same canvas, bound by the same frame. Amazing you can think of all these things, Mom. I am a writer, dear. I write novels. They are longer stories than the ones I told you, but they are stories about people and life. I am getting hungry. Let's get something to eat, Mom. Nicole went with her mom to get lunch, then they went back home. That evening Nicole had a dream. She woke her mom up the next morning to tell her what she saw. Good morning, Mom. I had a dream last night. Good morning, dear. What did you see? I became a novelist like you, Mom. I wrote a story about the man with the cowboy hat. His name is Sawyer and he moved to the city recently. He is a doctor and he works in the children's hospital. He is married to Mary Beth and they have 2 girls, Reese and Willa. Reese is studying to become a dentist and Willa is in high school. Mary Beth is a family doctor. They live in the Upper West Side. Sawyer was going to pick Willa from school and wanted to walk instead of using the car. He likes to wear his cowboy hat because it reminds him of his dad, who was a farmer in the small city where Sawyer grew up. While he was passing by the food truck, he saw an old lady who passed out while she was in line waiting to buy lunch for her and her husband. When he came forward to help, he was surprised to see that the old lady looked very similar to an old photo he carries around with him. When Tina woke up, she told Sawyer she had low blood sugar, so the food truck guy gave her a small piece of candy. Tina was okay, and she asked if Sawyer could help her reach her husband, Stan, who was waiting for her on the bench. Sawyer helped her and he sat with them on the bench for a short while. He was curious about the resemblance between Tina and the photo in his pocket. Sawyer took the old photo out and showed it to Tina. She was very surprised to see her younger self in that photo. She asked him where he got the photo from. He told her his mom gave him the photo a long time ago and told him he had an aunt named Tina who was given up for adoption and she lost contact with her. Sawyer could not believe he found his long-lost aunt and called his mom immediately on the phone. His mom could not believe her eyes that she was looking and talking to her sister again. They were all crying with tears of happiness. That is an amazing story, dear. It connects with my story I told you yesterday. It does, Mom. I really liked your stories and I want to become a novelist, just like you. Can't wait.